when the luminaries of the Democratic Action Party unveiled the party's new Nairobi offices, Rigathi Gachagua was the chief guest. It was his first significant political venture beyond the Mount Kenya region following his impeachment last year, and it gave him the perfect platform to hit back at his former boss, President William Samoei Arap Ruto.
Then yet na wewe tulimali, we had intended to pay you in 2 installments. Tukakupatia the first installment, ukagusa mlima. Hiyo deni ikafanya nini? Kaisha. We owe you no debt.
Let me tell you, Gachagua was bold, straightforward, deliberate, and as always, biting.
Anaenda pale Western, anasema tumefukuza huyu Rigathi Gachagua and he is corrupt. William Ruto, my friend, do you have the moral authority to talk about corruption? And we sympathize with you because juzi kumekuwa na opinion poll on the most corrupt person in the world. And we are unhappy that you are rigged. Instead of giving you number 1, they gave you number 2.
It resonated with the audience.
Let me say, I want to say,
his punches were lethal, at one point calling the president a deceptive politician.
Alikuwa anakuja kuangalia osho. Sasa amekuja kwenu msangarere. Mwivalamu. That is the same script. Nyinyi mkikubali mutalia vile watu ya mlima wanalia.
Mulibaramu musangarire Mwami Yesu itsomiwe.
Iyo yote ni utapeli. All those things is promising he will not do anything. He promised us atatumalizia barabara ya Mau kwisha. Nitajenga hii. So today he does not come to our place. The last time alikuja pale Embu in November, alijaribu kuenda uongo ya housing. Washirika wakabuka kumwambia tutaki uongo hapa tena. Hiyo mambo ya uongo peleka huko Western. Akajaribu kuongea mambo ya SHA, akaambiwa tutaki huo. Kwetu amejulikana na ndio humuone huko.
And since then, Gachagua continued to receive widespread attention. Those who have spent much of their time in the political space widely recognized that by impeaching his deputy, President William Ruto was making a significant political misstep.
If I had the opportunity, I would like to talk to Ruto and to know what is this monumental crime Gachagua committed. Because that thing moved like lightning speed.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Because if we develop Kenya at that speed, we would be beat Singapore.
Ruto's presidency?
Yes. People may not love Gachagua, but they use the impeachment as a trigger. Why did you impeach our people?
Linjiru, who was President Daniel Moi's press secretary for 24 years, argued that it would have been easier for the president to manage the burden and controversy surrounding his former deputy within government rather than from the outside.
But if he left Gachagua alone, he would have exposed his inadequacies. But now, because now you see, that's why I said there are some things you do, they boomerang. Like that one, boomerang.
The president and his inner circle hoped the impeachment would have diminished Gachagua's political influence, relegating him to obscurity in his hometown.
I will at all times.
He went ahead to appoint Professor Kithure Kindiki, a man also from the vote-rich Mount Kenya region, as his replacement.
His Excellency, the President, is handing over the Constitution to
He hoped this would have played the magic of calming the erupting mountain. But the president will soon realize just how wrong he was.
Nyinyi muko na biashara na ukabila, muko na biashara na chuki.
He has now been reduced to responding to the man who was supposed to have been sent back to his Wamunyoro village.
Wale watu wa ukabila, wa ufisadi, wale watu wa chuki, wale wa migawanyiko, wale wa mitego, wale wa mashares hawana nafasi ya kuhubiri chuki katika taifa letu la Kenya.
Serikali yako ni ya uongo, kutenga, kudanganya watu. Uliandika mkataba na watu ya Western, ukamjema utajenga 1000 kilometers, ujajenga. Umekuwa hapo juzi unafungua transformer.
Kuna wengine tuliwapatia kazi because of incompetence, kwa sababu haelewi chochote, kwa sababu ni watu wa wizi, watu ambao ni matapeli, watu ambao ni wafisadi, watu ambao wako na chuki, wanagawanya watu. Hiyo biashara yao ilizama.
Mimi ulitaka nikusaidie kudanganya wa Kenya. In matters kudanganya wa Kenya, Mr. President, I'm incompetent. Absolutely. I accept. Because hiyo alikuwa anataka tuende kulaunch barabara na anajua hakuna budget. Tukitoka matinga inafanya nini? Sasa hiyo ndio kazi rais anataka nimsaidie. Ndio anasema huyu haelewi programu za serikali. Sasa kwenda kupeleka matinga ukijua hakuna kazi inafanywa, hiyo ni programu ya serikali?
Na mimi nataka niwaambie watazama na kuzama na kuzama, kwa sababu Kenya haina nafasi ya wafisadi, watu ambao hawajui kufanya kazi na watu wa kugawanya watu kwa mambo ya ukabila.
Be an honest man. Look for a mirror before you talk about corruption and look at yourself.
Gachagua has strategically leveraged his impeachment process to gain political advantage, showcasing his shrewdness in the political arena.
When you listen to Mr. Mutuse,
Njiru says it all began in the Senate.
when we ask him questions, he was saying this is just a prima facie. Prima facie, prima facie.
He says Gachagua, having realized that his boss wanted him out at all cost, the self-declared son of the Mau Mau devised a scheme that would have him emerge as a victor rather than a complete loser. First, he assembled a team of skilled lawyers to represent him in the Senate, where they effectively dismantled the evidence supporting the impeachment motion.
I'm not going to impeach the deputy president because listening to the accusation here, they are not enough. They do not meet the threshold of removing somebody from the office. You ask Mutuse, here you had it. Mr. Mutuse, tell us. He says, I was not in an investigation journey. Mr. Mutuse, I just imagine. Mr. Mutuse, I don't know. Mr. Mutuse.
The threshold legally under the courts are a bit higher than what was happening in Parliament.
Yeah.
Because in Parliament it came finally to the vote. You saw my reservations unanswered when I rose to speak about the motion. There were many reservations, like the issue of inheritance, like the issue of threshold constitutional, like one or two issues that came up. But the point I'm trying to make, the disadvantage, it comes back to the voting.
A significant number of Kenyans watching live on television or online, including those who disliked Gachagua, felt that the motion lacked substance and was merely a witch hunt.
Like, for example, on the grounds for renovation of the office of the Deputy President, the funds were appropriated by the National Assembly. Yet the same National Assembly is accusing the Deputy President, who is not even an accountant. The accountant is a different person, Mr. Speaker. Or even on the Kemsa issue on the bully, in the grounds that they have been set, Mr. Speaker, they are saying that the Deputy President bullied Kemsa, Mr. Speaker, but there is no proof.
And when Gachagua was scheduled to take to the stand for cross-examination and defend himself, he failed to return after the lunch break.
The sad reality is that the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has been taken sick, very sick, and as I address Mr. Speaker in this honorable House, Senators, he is in hospital, Mheshimiwa Speaker. That is a sad reality.
Despite this, the Senate proceeded with his impeachment in his absence. While hospitalized, the government revoked his security detail and vehicles. Three days later, he was discharged, isolated, impeached, and abandoned. He contested the impeachment in court, where complexities of filing, case prioritization, jurisdiction, and legal interpretation mirrored the political maneuvering that had played out in Parliament. Professor Kithure Kindiki would later be sworn in as his replacement. Experts say, while the president and his loyal lieutenants came out as a bunch of cannibals mercilessly devouring one of their own,
A time like this one,
Gachagua drove back to his Wamunyoro people as a hero.
it's only the church that can speak for us. Wabunge wetu walidanganywa ati shida ya Kenya ni Rigathi Gachagua. Ati akitolewa barabara zitajengwa. Zimejengwa sasa.
Njiru says he has won himself some empathy. Between the time of his impeachment and last week, Gachagua had restricted his movements and appearances to the Mount Kenya region, trying to increase his hold on his political base. And with remarkable effectiveness, he has widely proclaimed the story of his betrayal.